Mindy, how are you? Hello! Who's that? Welcome to the Morning Steam. I'm Ramon Scott with Mindy Hahn from Tony'sPicks.com. And who do we have here?
This is Sassy. Sassy is the mom cat of all these other kitties that you see in the house.
Well,
She's the oldest one, so she doesn't always make an appearance. But today she was, jumped right on my lap this morning. So the other ones are down below, just haunting me.
well, the way things are going, buddy, I might have to tab Sassy for some picks the way it's going. But maybe, because we've started the show, I've started a little bit slow this week. But, we had a pretty good time yesterday and some good picks, and there were some great ball games going. And we already have people starting to join us in the chat, too. So it's awesome that we're starting to get some friends along here along the way. Let's take a look and welcome to Latifa. Thank you for joining us, Latifa. She's going to pressure us to talk some baseball and college football. I think she might be hired as a producer here soon because that's exactly what we're going to do. We also might touch on some WNBA and some tennis action. I even took a few soccer notes. There's a huge Major League Soccer card tonight. I wrote a couple of picks down. I don't know if we'll get to that point, Mindy, because we're kind of loaded up on games today. But how are you doing? And did you enjoy the action last night?
I did. I was, busy cleaning out some gutters. I have to do, all the important stuff too in my life besides, baseball. But I got to finish up watching Dodgers and Mets and Yankees and Angels. And then, of course, I was, biting my nails over the Giants-Padres game that, didn't go my way again. I mean, it was just another close one. It wasn't, again, starting pitching was kind of where we thought that would be. Definitely bullpen issues there again. But, yeah, I mean, the Padres are getting done what they need to get done, right, Ramon? I mean, they gotta stay, right behind those Mariners.
I was sweating it out just as a fan, of course, with that game. And, of course, again, I'm just like, well, here we go, the Padres closer situation. But Nick Martinez came through. He's, the fans have kind of gotten on him a little bit. I don't know if all the fans are. I think he's kind of a favorite here in San Diego. But around talk on some of the talking heads, maybe they think that he's kind of a marginal player. One thing that he did was the Padres paid him some big money to come over from Japan to be a part of the team. So he got it done last night despite that monster home run by Jock Jams that headed over that right field pole and into McCovey Cove. But the Padres held on there. And also, the Brewers are doing the Padres a big favor. They're going El Foldo right now.
Right.
And so the Padres continue to move away from the Brewers a little bit. And so maybe we'll squeak in. But enough about me and the Padres. We'll talk about baseball coming up. We'll start with baseball, I think, today, Mindy, shall we, for our show here? Let's put up the date for Wednesday, August 31st. We're ready to head into September 1st and 5 straight days of college football.
Can you believe it? It's almost here. I mean, it feels like we just have to wait so long for it. I don't know why, but, I guess everything else because, basketball is such a long season. And then we only have, 12 weeks of college football after, everything. So yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. It's going to be a really fun weekend.
Yeah, well, I saw they've already got loaded up Big Ten games really almost every day, so I know you'll be totally into those. But we'll continue to cover Major League Baseball as well. We're going to kind of wing it with the itinerary, especially when we get to the weekends, because everyone's going to be fired up about college football, and there's such a big card. We plan on going live on Saturday mornings, well ahead of the pack, and get our picks out there and enjoy just a huge day of college football. Again, no shows yet on Friday. We're going to work on that, see how we can get it going. But I think we better get it going. We were waiting for Tony. He was on there with his live show. He had the early card. So go to Tony's Picks YouTube channel. He's got more college football picks on, just loaded up. After we're done, just wait, because we got college football picks for Friday coming up, but you can check out Tony's earlier picks also from earlier in the week, Thursday and Friday, all on Tony's Picks YouTube channel and, of course, our Free Picks blog as well. So, all right, Mindy, if you want to get into it, we'll talk about the Major League Baseball card and maybe talk about since we're still in the same series this week, maybe we'll talk about each individual series as well and how it's going. So.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, right? So, we did pretty well yesterday, like 8-6 on our free plays. We're getting better every day that we go. We'll get you all the information that you need. You can pick and choose, which games that you like compared to what we like. And then, of course, you can get over to our website where you can get our best of the best plays there as well. So we're going to start off here with finally some early games. I mean, otherwise we've been working only on evening slates. So today we get that
day games. Well, I like it. And day games, sure thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we got Houston today, -140 versus the Rangers, +115. Total on this one is sitting at 7.5. You have Javier versus Perez. So for me on this one, I like the Astros here. I think they're able to just, take care of the Rangers today. I think they've kind of stopped, messing around with you losing to these teams that are, maybe not up to their caliber. So what do you think on that?
Well, Mindy, I don't want to be boring, but I'm going to just tag along with you on this one. Looks like a very reasonable price for Houston here with Christian Javier on the mound. I think first I'll touch on yesterday because I think there's a big talk about Framber Valdez and leading the Cy Young race right now because of what he's done. Really a historic streak. Maybe putting together one of the best seasons for any Astros pitcher. And this is a franchise, of course, that had Nolan Ryan, J.R. Richard, and like Mike Scott. You think of some of the great Houston pitchers, but right now, the type of season that Framber Valdez is having and his current streak of quality starts, record-setting, really. So Houston, not just Valdez, but the pitching doing well. A little bit of note here, too, Mindy, I know you saw it, that Justin Verlander is going to head to the disabled list for 15 days. I think it was a quad strain. So that's a little bit of news here. I don't think it's going to affect Houston in the long run, get JV healthy for the playoffs. But, yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think this is a relatively good price. Maybe we're missing something, Mindy, on this one, right? Because
again, this is why we call it the morning steam, right? So maybe we'll see these numbers, fluctuate here during the day. But as of right now, I mean, I think you're getting a pretty good price, just like Ramon had said. Latifa looks like she likes the under. I have this one under by a 0.98, so I kind of tend to agree with that one.
Latifa, we might have a three-person booth here soon. I'll keep bringing up Latifa's comments and just want to encourage everyone in the chat. We've got just a handful of viewers right now, but we know that starts to pick up, and our show's picking up steam. How you like that?
Yeah,
our
that was
show's
better
picking
now.
up steam too, and we're getting upwards of. I think yesterday we got a little bit over 20 live viewers and a couple hundred on the show. No doubt that's going to grow, especially this football season.
Right.
But so we'll just keep a monitor of that. But if anybody else wants to comment, we'd love to see your comments, questions, and whatever you have to say. So we're both going to be on Houston. I was going to throw out maybe a couple of stats, but we know how well Houston is playing right now. And but if anything, the move, like I said, the move has been on Texas, Mindy. There's no doubt that the number did open a little bit higher. So I guess there's sharp action on Texas. I'm one that likes to tail a lot of sharp action. I can't pass up Houston here.
Exactly. And then so next year for Pirates and Brewers, I'm not sure if you have anything. I haven't seen any lines yet. Looks like you do have some starting pitchers here now. And at -175, is that right?
Yeah, let me just check too. I'll pull a Tony T here and maybe check the latest to see if any line has.
And I'm just pulling mine here real quick from Yahoo without actually going into our website there. So
okay, sure. In fact, this was on this particular line, this was generated by Ramon. I kind of.
Oh, this is yours. Okay, I got that.
Yeah, I'm way off right now, and I'll tell you right now, I have a free pick. I'm looking at this line. I'll even update it for you, Mindy. I'm gonna put out the correct price at one of the major books here. Again, I'm in California, so I look at offshore lines, but soon that's going to change, I think, after this year. So I said 175 and the total 9. Well, let's take a look at what it is, Mindy. Here it comes. Oh. Look at that. Look,
oh, geez, it's already at 245. Okay.
yeah, and I can tell you right now, and yeah, it was not at 170. That was just my estimation because,
Okay, gotcha.
like I said, to me, Milwaukee. I'll go first here just because I put up that line. Milwaukee, obviously, there's something amiss here. They're not playing well. A team like Pittsburgh that obviously not having a great season, but they found a little bit of a spark here in this series. They won yesterday, 4-2. At this price, it's a no-brainer for me. I'm going to be on the Pittsburgh Pirates in this one. Maybe you want to take them on the run line. I'll give them out on the money line, but just to be sure, you can maybe put a little bit on both, possibly like that. But right now, I think that for me, at that price, considering what I was thinking, and I was way off, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one starts moving down a little bit. I'm going to take Pittsburgh, Mindy.
Yeah, and for me on this one, I'm coming in with a pretty big under. My modeling is sitting at about 6.5 here. So I would take the under the 8.5 here in this one. She said she already knew. She, has watched your handicapping here in the past and knew you were taking some of that value here on this one, especially the way it's been, trending. All right, so next up then, we're looking at this game that's kind of got me all week, right? So we're looking at the Padres versus the Giants in this one. So San Diego minus 145, San Francisco plus 120. Over-under total is sitting at a 7.5 in this one. You have Musgrove versus a Wood. So as you guys have known, I've been on the Giants here pretty strong over the last couple days. And of course, then today, my modeling here is going to be on the Padres on the money line. And of course, we know it's kind of hard sometimes to win the 3-game series here, but we're going for it. We're taking the Padres today.
Yeah, Padres, they had their number this week. It was a big series for the Padres, and I'm going to go over, I think, in this one, Mindy. I know that maybe the trends kind of say under in this one, but Alex Wood, I mean, what's wrong with this guy right now? An ERA close to 12 over his last 3 starts. And Musgrove, he went through a little bit of a tailspin, and, his overall numbers, 2.96 ERA on the season, but a 3.45 ERA over his last 3 games. I will say this. Right now, Musgrove is in a little bit of a funk where he's given up home runs in 7 straight games. That is a career high for him. So giving up the long ball a little bit. They had some tight games, and the scoring's kind of come in late, I think, over the last couple of games. So at 7.5, I'm going to go over in the Padre game today, and probably just going to end up rooting for my Padres. And,
right.
I know I'm setting up myself for heartbreak, just like I have my whole life, Mindy. I'm 53 years old, and I've never celebrated a world championship in anything significant. Indoor soccer doesn't count. We've won 15 championships in indoor soccer, but that doesn't count. We don't win much out here.
Yeah, we need to change that up. What are we going to do? I was telling you, we need to send like some, money candles or, to, influence those wins out there in San Diego. All right. So next up, we got the Orioles here versus the Guardians. Orioles are sitting at plus 135. Cleveland minus 165. Total of 8 here. So on this one, for me, I have this modeled out at about 6 runs. So I'm going to take the under here on this one for this game.
Well, look, I mean, this one's a little bit tougher because Cleveland, pretty stiff favorite, though, I would think, at minus 160. Now, obviously, McKenzie has been pretty terrific, but Jordan Lyles has been okay, I would say. He's done a pretty okay job, but mostly the Orioles have been terrific. So, I don't know. I think at this price, I'm going to tend to lean towards Baltimore here. They're just such a great story with their streak right now, just playing so well. I know, the Guardians, McKenzie's been pretty terrific. 3.2 ERA this season. He's gone under in 3 straight, and 14 of his 23 starts this season. I'm going to take Baltimore, though, at this price for sure. If I'm getting plus $1.35, $1.40, I think that's going to be good enough for me. The way Baltimore's played, they're the story of almost the story of the season, except if the LA Dodgers weren't playing record-setting ball, a historic run right now. But we'll talk about that later. My pick's going to be on Baltimore. Rapid fire, we're doing great, Mindy.
Yeah, I mean, that Baltimore team, there's something else. I mean, I really like that, their passion. I mean, you have that guy from your town, Sowers is out there hitting home runs.
What a moment. What a moment
right?
that was.
Yeah, because I thought it was pretty cool. You said he was from your school, right?
Well, I'm a high school blogger, if you will, out here. And I love gambling. I watch sports all day long, but I also have done work. I worked for the newspaper locally, and I've worked for the television station covering the high school football games on Friday night. I write about high school baseball and basketball, and he's someone that I covered for many years. I've been doing that since I was 18 years old, and I still do it today. On my private blog. But I think the most interesting thing, I don't know if I mentioned this part of the story to you, was his dad sold me my mortgage. So
yes, you did tell me that.
so I'm a pretty big fan of his, and I'll tell you another story when we get to another game. But
all right,
let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, you bet. We got next up here. We got those crazy Cardinals that let one slip away. I thought yesterday, sitting at minus 250 versus the Reds plus 190. Total is 9.5. Ramon was, I think you were all over the total on that one yesterday. So nice work out of that. But so for me, I'm going to have this one here as a premium on the side. And but I'm going to go ahead and take the over again here in this one today.
Okay, well, we're going to go 2 for 2 then on this one.
All right.
I also am going over. This was going to be a premium for me at a total of 9. Even if it was juiced up, but I think that 9.5, I'm going to look here to see. I think it's going to end up pretty solid at a 9.5. It is juiced to the under, maybe 9.5 under 15, 9.5 under 20. I'm seeing as well. But for me, I think I'm going to go over. Both pitchers have kind of been giving it up of late. Mike Minor, a 5.6 ERA over his last 3 starts. Jose Quintana has gone over in his last 3 starts as well. And St. Louis right now, considering what happened yesterday, I think we could see some runs here. I think it's a pretty big price on Quintana, no matter what here. But for me, let's just stick with the over. So we're kind of in agreement. Like I said, maybe we want to start tracking our consensus plays a little bit as we start to move forward. You were saying, let's track all the plays, but by eventually we'd be like 2,000 and 1,800. But maybe we'll keep it running. If we're hot, we're hot. If we're not, we're not. But yeah, we're both going over here.
All right, so I don't have anything on the next one here for the Rays and Marlins. Any line on your side?
No, and I haven't seen anything yet. I have undecided here. I think Rogers is going to be the starter in this one. So with no line yet, I think it's a fair game if we both want to pass here. I will tell you that I don't know. I mean, look, Miami, we know they don't hit very well right now. Just to give a little synopsis of the game, we know Miami's not hitting right now. There's not really necessarily a rivalry here. I am starting to see a price come out on this game now. Maybe I could just update the graphic real quick, Mindy, on this, even though it is definitely still undecided as far as the major line services are concerned. But I'll flash that total up here on the screen right now. So here we go. And you'll see that Tampa Bay is going to be favored in this one by about $1.70. I put 6.5 over at minus 125, but I think most of the lines are coming out now at 7 under 20 or so. So it's okay if we take a pass. We're already giving you like 25 to 30 picks a show, and I think that's fair.
All right, cool. So we're up next with the A's here and the Nationals. You got Oakland sitting at -110, Washington also -110. Over under 8.5 here in this one. I was kind of on the wrong side yesterday. I had Washington in this one, but it's one of those games that you have just Oakland that just struggles at the plate, and so it's really hard sometimes to go against those, even though Ramon has thrown out the stats there that the Nationals have only won, one game by a starting pitcher in like 42 games. So you also have that one kind of hanging over your head here, too. So for me, my modeling has this one, an A's victory, 4-3. I'm taking the A's here on the money line at -115.
Yeah, and I don't know, if you remember, I one of the shows I really touted Anibal Sanchez recently, and he's been bad statistically this season, no doubt about it, with a 5.72 ERA, but he's gone under in 6 of his 8 starts, and back when I touted him, to maybe have a good effort, he did, and in fact, since he's come back into the rotation, he's done pretty well, 2.51 ERA over his last 3 starts, and James Caprillion has not been very good of late, but for me, yeah, I bit the bullet yesterday also with Washington, so I don't want a part of them today. Maybe I'm, wishy-washy on that, but I'm going to go ahead and take the over, actually, is going to be my play in this one. I was looking to go premium in this one if it was at 8, but I think at 8.5, I said, well, I'm going to give it out on the show. Yeah, on the show, and we're going to go over, and maybe Latifa agrees with me in this one. Yeah.
Nice. So next one here for Cubs and Blue Jays. I still haven't seen anything on that one. You got any insight there?
Yeah, let's see what we have right now. No line has come out yet because of the Cubs pitching situation. This one does not have a line. Farrell is probably going to be the starting pitcher for the Cubs, going up against Mike White there. So I think we'll end up probably just taking a pass on this one. A couple notes maybe that I could give you is that Toronto 6-2 off their last 8 victories. So I don't know. I think White definitely has been pretty mediocre. He had one good appearance when he started, but since then not so great. He's got a 5.93 ERA in his 3 starts so far for Toronto. So right now both teams aren't hitting very well, but the Cubs bullpen, which is kind of been okay. Right now they're giving it up big time with a 7.5 ERA over the last 10 games. So see what happens when they come up with a starter. But not without a starter. You and me, we get to pass.
All right.
We're already giving out enough games.
Yeah, so I really liked this Mariners-Tigers game. I was really intrigued by how it was going to go. Tigers playing at home. Mariners, not so great usually here on the road. So that score kind of being so lopsided kind of surprised me, especially because I think the Mariners are sometimes inconsistent at best after that, 13-game streak that they had before the All-Star break. But for me here in this one, don't think I read off the lines yet, but Seattle -160, Detroit +135, over under 8.5 here in this one. I'm still kind of fading the Mariners a little bit here today. I'm going to take the Tigers on the run line, the +1.5 at -130.
Many of the Mariners have gone under in just 2 of their last 16 road games, so I'm going to end up going over on this one. Tyler Alexander's given it up big time of late with an 8.36 ERA over his last 3 starts. Interestingly, despite his 4.83 ERA, he has gone under in 7 of his 8 starts, but that's not good enough for me here. I just happen to think that Seattle, they're hitting .250 over the last 10 games against left-handers, so that's okay for me in today's baseball, the way the averages are going. So at 8.5, my free play is going to be over with Seattle and Detroit today.
Cool. Next up, more games that we anticipate every day. Dodgers, versus Mets. Dodgers here +125, Mets at -155, over under 6.5. You have, Anderson for the Dodgers, and everyone loves DeGrom, right, for the Mets. So it should be like an interesting, pitching matchup. So I'm still on the Dodgers here on this one. At the plus 120, I still think that, overall, that I just think that they're the better team. I know everyone said the Mets are the ones that can probably get them at the end. I still like the Dodgers. They're still kind of my front runner as, the team to beat. One of those teams that just tend to, to lose the World Series a lot. But I just love the Dodgers, especially how they've outscored their opponents this year.
Mindy, right now the Dodgers are on a historic run. Their current streak of games with their winning streak, winning ways, if you will, right now is one of the best winning streaks since not winning streaks, but just the fact that they've won so many games. I believe it's a 35-10 run. That puts up the third best streak since 1969. So they've just been terrific, no doubt about it. Here's my other personal story, if you will. So I might have watched last night's game. I was kind of rooting for the Mets because Timmy Trumpet was there, and he was going to play that song that I love, that everyone, these guys Diaz has the best entrance of any closer right now in the game, and when you got that, things are going good. The Mets obviously can, this could be a National League Championship Series preview. But the guy who came in last night to get the save for the Dodgers, Jake Reed, he's from my high school and a kid that I covered when he was a kid. And he's had a kind of a weird road to the major leagues. I mean, he's not a young kid at all. I believe he might have graduated high school, I want to say 2011 or so. And he was with the Dodgers, and then he was with the Mets. He's picked up with the Rays. He's back with the Mets. The Mets designated him for assignment last month. 3 days later, the Dodgers picked him up. What happens? He goes into New York and picks up a big save in a big ball game last night, and you saw the emotion from Jake Reed. Look, I don't think he's going to be. He might not even, probably not even going to, make the postseason roster. But he's one of those pitchers with an interesting delivery that sometimes finds their way on a roster because it gives you a little bit of a different look when you have to get, three batters out, especially if you're facing. He's a right-handed pitcher, but he could get left-handers out because of his awkward, little bit of a sidearm delivery, if you will. So I like Jake Reed, but I don't know if he'll make it very long. But for me in this one, Mindy, with Anderson, who really, he's really been terrific, and Jake DeGrom, since he's come back, he's really been strong. And I think obviously that's why you see the Mets favored at $1.45 here. For me, I think we're going to see a big-time pitcher's duel tonight. And I've got under 7 runs. I even think you could see this one 6.5 and a little bit juiced up. I wouldn't even mind if you, had the options. If you look at your books, go ahead and take it under 6.5 at plus money. Might be a little bit better. My play is going to be on the under.
All right. That's a good story, though. I love it. And plus, I liked when he got in there and kind of gave a little bit of the brushbacks, whether intentional or not, right?
Let me give you this, too, Mindy. Jake's wife was a member of the U.S. Olympic team and the U.S. national softball team.
Nice. Okay.
So, she was a really good player. She's no longer, but she has played as recently on the team as 2019. So she's a terrific, terrific player.
Nice. All right. So next up, we got this Rockies-Braves game. Colorado here, plus 240. Atlanta minus 300. Over-under sitting at 8. I know we talked about some of those big, big games out there. I got a premium here on the side. You have Colorado here. The Rockies have won their last 6 series here against the Braves, in Atlanta. Kind of a little bit of surprising statistic to me. But you have Feltner on the mound versus Wright. But for me, I think it's not going to be like it was here yesterday. You got a little bit of inflated ERAs here for the Rockies. I like the over here in this one.
Well, this is going to be our third agreement of the show. I'm also going to go over the 8.5. Was looking hopefully getting 8. Was going to go premium on this one, but going to give it out as a free play. Feltner, 5.4 ERA over his last 3 starts at a 5.87 ERA overall. Kyle Wright has been terrific, no doubt about it. I think that's why you see the high price, other than the fact that the Braves are strong and the Rockies are not. But Mindy, the Rockies, they're really one of the best teams in the league when getting plus money, when getting plus $2 or more. So I definitely think they're live here, and I wouldn't hesitate to take the Rockies as a dog in this one. But that's not my free play necessarily, and I don't know if it's going to be a premium. It's something I'm considering. But so I don't know. You don't have to buy my package to maybe get that one.
I know.
Right, but over. I'm going to agree with you. I think over in this one. I think the Braves can get to Feltner and the Rockies. I don't know, they're playing a little bit better of late. So I like the way they're hitting right now on the road as well as at home. So I like the over in this one with Colorado and Atlanta.
Yeah, so next up we got here the Red Sox versus the Twins. To me, this kind of seems to be a pretty even matchup. These two teams tend to split their series, constantly. And that's where we're at. I guess we got the Twins that have won both, right, so far. So we have Wnba on the mound here for Boston versus Joe Ryan here for Minnesota. Boston's plus 110, Minnesota minus 135, over under 8 in this one. But I have a premium on the side on this, so I'm going to go ahead and take the under here for my free pick.
Yeah, me put the right graphic up. I was just talking to our friend, and again, I would challenge other people. I mean, we could have our conversation with Latif all day. Please, someone else also comment. We see we've got a dozen live viewers out there. We'd love to hear from each and every one of you. If you can reach the keyboard, if you're watching on your television or while you're driving, then don't worry about it. But again, we'd love to hear your comments. Let me go ahead and bring that one up with Boston and Minnesota. Wnba and Ryan, as you mentioned, Mindy in this one. And again, this was one where I really wanted to go premium on this one, but I just wanted to have a play in the game. I'm going to go under the 8 runs in this one with Boston and Minnesota. For me, obviously with Walkie's pretty game pitcher out there every time. The numbers have been very, very strong of late. 1.93 ERA and a 0.75 whip. He's won each of his last 3 starts, but Ryan has been terrific as well with a 2.04 ERA in his last 3 starts. So I can see these pitchers, maybe a first 5 is the way you want to look as well. But for me, under the 8 runs is going to be good enough for me. I don't see that 8 over 15 standing out for very long. In fact, I'm looking over here at a book, and I'm already seeing it going to 8 flat. So under for me, Mindy, Boston and Minnesota.
What? Did we agree again? We're like 4 games on consensus for over-unders.
These are the ones that maybe you and I should, pool our resources. Maybe we want to, get a little action together and
right.
Put those bets in and have we'll have a Moni and Mindy fund, if you will, and we'll put those bets in and
there we go, like our own little mutual fund.
Yeah, we don't want to get too hot, because then maybe we might not have a job here with Tony and the GM, so we'll just keep it on the down low.
Right. All right, next up here, Kansas City versus those White Sox. Kansas City plus 165, Chicago minus 200, over under sitting at, looks like 8.5 here in this one. So I really think that I like this matchup too. I'm from the Midwest, so Royals is the closest team to what we have here. Go to a lot of Royals games. Only been to one White Sox game, in the past. Was kind of all over the Royals yesterday, but I still think they're a little bit inconsistent at the bats here. especially with Chris on the mound. He's been struggling, only 2-9 this season. It's one of these, like, I like the White Sox in this game, on the money line. It's sitting at minus 200 here. So for me, again, that would be my play if I was going to put it in some sort of parlay or something like that. But if I was betting this game straight up, I'm going to pass here on this one, even though my pick would be the White Sox.
Show Latifah's comment again because she's our friend over there, and she went with over. And you know what? I'll tell you, someone else who went over was Tony in his video. So I don't want to give it too much away. I want you to watch Tony's videos today, but he gave out the over in that one as well. Latifah, maybe you've already even seen that, but Mindy, yesterday I thought Kansas City was a pretty popular play by a lot of the touts. I'm going to come back with them today, despite the disparity with Bubic in his 9.45 ERA over his last 3 starts. But 7 of his last 8 road starts have gone under. I know that doesn't necessarily pertain to what I'm going to choose here. I'm going to go Kansas City on the run line. Lynn's been pretty stellar of late, 2.04 ERA in his last 3 starts, but just a 5 ERA during the season, and Bubic is just a little bit higher at 5.62. So if you guys think some runs are going to be scored, maybe this ends up being a walk-off, and with high volatility, it wouldn't indicate high volatility with a $2 favorite. By the way, you mentioned close to $2, and you're right. I mean, I'm showing the offshore book that I follow, the one that mimics our back end when we enter our plays. I put these odds up. I did our graphics about 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 a.m. Pacific, so about 2 hours ago. And you see right there, up $1.80 now, $1.92. So the money might be coming in on the White Sox. I did see that some places wanted to open the game as high as 225, but for me, give me the Royals plus a run and a half. My only run line on our show today, but that's what I'm going to go with.
Awesome. All right. So next up, we got those Yankees versus the Angels. It's kind of what we've been talking about. Also, like I said, I'm Angels fan, so I always like it when I get to see them, play as well. Out of every, out of state ballpark, Angel Stadium is where I've been the most. So we got the Yankees here at minus 190, Angels at plus 155. Over under here is 7.5 here in this one. It's just been a really fun series. I mean, all you see is the talk about, who is the better player. They try to break down, is it Ohtani? Is it Judge? I mean, statistically, they try to break down, who is the better, who's, more beneficial to their team. It seems like always the consensus is Judge. I know, Ramon, you've kind of been a little bit more on Ohtani. Like, who else besides, Babe Ruth has kind of put up these, these numbers here also. But you got Garrett Cole here on the mound versus Patrick Sandoval. I'm still going to, I think the Yankees, finally kind of got it back. I think they just started off that game yesterday, just really, really hot. And I think when you, start off the game with a home run kind of thing, it really kind of blows up, what you had planned for, for that game strategically. So for me, I'm actually going to go back on the Angels on the run line here at the plus 100.
I've been to plenty of Angels games. I've been to that stadium many a times. I can remember, I'll tell you one, you'll like this story. Get it in real quick, was when I thought I was going to be a big-time sportscaster before I ended up as a gambling tout on YouTube. When I was a kid, I was just barely 19, 20 years old, and I went to a sportscaster camp every year at Loyola Marymount University. And I happened to be paired up one night. We went to Angel Stadium and did some broadcasting, and my broadcast partner was the late Hank Gathers.
Oh, wow.
Really one of the, after what happened to him just a year later, certainly to me, a great guy, a great dude, if you will. I can remember the ball was fouled off at the plate, and the catcher needed a moment because it hit the ground and hit him in the area. And Hank said, "Ramon, just what I thought. It hit him right in the. He said the word, he said the B word.
Yeah.
But just remember, that's just a memory I'll take to my grave of the late Hank Gatherers. So, anyways, Mindy, for the Yankees and the Angels in this one, look, I'm going to have to go against your team here, and on a free show, I can I can get away with laying $1.80. I mean, I graded this one out at probably 210. I came with the Yankees yesterday. They did the job, obviously, for all their woes, and they were struggling and everything. So Latifah and I will be on the same side here. Even at this big price, I'm willing to lay it here with the Yankees. Give me the Yankees at $1.80. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we can officially both win this pick, by the way. So
there you go. But take a look at Tony's video, though. We can't all three of us win. But,
I know, right? I know.
That's
It's just crazy how we come up with different strategies, different ways to pick games. I mean, that's what this is, right? To gather as much information as you can to see if it fits into your plays here, for the day also. All right, here we go. Ready? Last one. So we got those Phillies versus scrappy Diamondbacks here. Phillies setting at minus 135, Arizona plus 110. Total over under sitting at 9.5. You got Falter on the mound for Philly and Henry for Arizona. I'm going to be jumping right back on to this hot Diamondbacks team. I'm going to take them at the plus 1.5 here, minus 130 on the run line.
Well, Mindy, I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to give you Arizona on the money line. I'm totally impressed. Most of the people talk about how, the Phillies started off with that 7-0 lead, and then Arizona scored like 18 straight runs in the series against Philly. So whatever has happened to Philly right now, there's just a little bit of funk going on, if you will, as they're coming out here, in this series. Whatever's going on, it's just not working for Philly at this point. They're still battling and going to have to continue to fight, and this is a key series for them. And they've been strong as favorites, but for me, Philadelphia, they're 2-12, Mindy, in their last 14 games here in Arizona, and Arizona has won 21 of the last 31 meetings, and we're not talking about 31 games is just a couple of years. Arizona has not been very good for the last few years, so the Diamondbacks have their number, and I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks in this one as an underdog. Look, Philly, the overnight line was about $1.70, and now you're looking at Philly already down to $1.31. So you're going to get plus $1.15, $1.20 here, but that's going to be good enough for me. I'll take Arizona in this one.
Cool. So should we switch over to our picks here for WNBA? It looks like Latifah's chomping at the bit here for some free picks.
Okay, if you've got something, I think I saw you had a premium too, Mindy, so I don't want you to give too much away, and I do have a couple of videos out right now on Tony's Picks YouTube channel with my previews of the games, but we can talk about them, see what you give, if you have any free plays. I mean, I certainly have my free plays. I could recite them, but I want you to watch those videos, so maybe I can, if I'm interested in something, I want to hear what you have to say in your breakdown, if you will, or at least your pick. Like I said, we're not necessarily giving a lot of analysis on this. We've designed this to be a rapid fire show. Our conclusion is you just want picks. I mean, we've got other shows. My videos, I mean, they're 3, 4, 5 minutes long with a detailed analysis. With Tony, you get his terrific rundown, especially his statistical breakdown of the games. And of course, the show, the game day pick show, and the show also with Paul and his soccer picks, where you have, more in-depth analysis. So our show is going to be a lot of picks, rapid fire all the way. So maybe we'll hear what you have.
I'll do this real quick. Unfortunately, Ramon, I haven't watched your videos yet either. I go ahead and I'll do that right after here. So I hope I don't go against you in all these.
No, well, again, I mean, I might even hold back. I'm not necessarily. Hey, hey,
But again, this is going to be, my system for picking games versus, your system, and we'll see. Hopefully, we get a lot of consensus, in these games here.
Let me say
as well.
thank you also to our second commentator tonight, Strag Life. Thank you so much. He's got you right there with the three best bets. What's he got? Milwaukee, St. Louis, Atlanta, all three on the money line. Those are his best plays for tonight. So he's on the line. He'll come back tomorrow and brag with us. Bragg can brag when he sweeps those plays tonight in Major League Baseball.
Exactly.
Right. I do have some banners ready for it. Let me bring it up here, and maybe I'll introduce. How about if I introduce the games and the WNBA, since you're our expert analyst here on this one. My free picks on the videos ended up better than my premiums in the WNBA, which bummed me out a little bit. Well, right, but I focused so much on those videos because I wanted those to be good. I'm not saying I backed off. I tried to balance it and get the best plays, of course, in the premiums. Sometimes, changes a little bit as the game got closer. And WNBA has always been something that I've been watching for years and done pretty well. So, it didn't quite work out in the regular season. But anyway, the Sun, they won that first game, Mindy, against the Sky. The Sun, 1-0 lead. The Connecticut Sun 8-0 against the spread on the road this season. Chicago 1-4 against the spread at home. The Sun won the first game 68-63. Chicago shot a season low 35%, but they out-rebounded the Sky 47-36, Mindy. So what you got here?
Yeah, so, for me on this one, I'm looking like this one is going to be an over game. If I go on the side, I have the Sky here carrying those minus points here today. I really like, where the Sky is headed. I really think that, a team that can really be consistent shooting the ball and playing good defense is really what's going to, pull this one out for them tonight. Their first in field goal percentage, points scored. I think they're just a better team. They make less mistakes. I think I'm opposite here of what Latifa said, but I like the favorite here in this one, even though they got beat at home last time.
Okay, well, I might just leave it at that. I want everyone to go ahead and take a look at my video of that game, Mindy. I thought in the last game, obviously, Candace Parker was absolutely terrific, and she has been terrific against the Sun, but Quigley had a rough game. She didn't look that great. I didn't think Vandersloot looked that great. She's going to have to turn it around if the Sky's going to get back into it. Look what happened in the last series. Actually, with both these teams, losing that first game, and then they came back real hard. So, look, the Sky, it's a little bit different when you're playing the Sun compared to playing the Liberty, even though Liberty was finishing the season quite strong. But they did lose that first game and then, basically crushed them in the last two games. Connecticut, obviously, a little bit of different brand of defense, especially holding Chicago to that season low field goal percentage of 35%. So we'll see there. Take a look at my video. I got a pick there, and maybe there's going to be a premium that I'm not going to give away as well.
Maybe.
So maybe have to sign up. I still, with as many as 13 games, I believe, left, there's still some room for, picking up my WNBA package. I've really reduced it down to just, I think, $49, something like that. I'll probably reduce it more after tonight's game if anybody just wanted to hook up, see what happens on these two series too, and see if these teams can get real close. Strag's going to say, I like the Sky and the Aces in the first quarter. It looks like he's saying lay the points. It looks like maybe he meant money line there or lay the points, not sure on that one. So maybe Strag can clean up that, tell us a little bit, but I think we get what you say, take them in the first quarter, the two favorites. All right, Mindy, let's take a look now, and I'll introduce the second game. This will be the Storm against the Las Vegas Aces The Aces a 5.5-point favorite, total 169. It was a Storm that stormed out to the lead against the Aces and won that game 76-73. The Storm 5-1 against the spread, their last 6 on the road. Meanwhile, Las Vegas just 4-11 against the spread in their last 15 home games. It's kind of been of a trouble spot for Seattle. They're 2-5 against a number of their last 7 trips here into Las Vegas. Mindy, 7 of the last 8 games for Seattle have gone over, and 4 of the last 5 meetings here between these two teams in Las Vegas have gone over. Of course, Las Vegas won the season series 3-1. What say you?
Yeah, so as you talked about, my premium is on the total in this one. So if you want to go ahead and, check me out over at the website, you can do that. I just love this game. I think they're, I just love the total on this one. It's probably my favorite play, of the day, no matter what here. I'm going to be on the side of the Aces here at home at the -5. I just think, they just played so badly last game. They normally average, about, let's see if I can find it real quick. They're usually sitting at, like a 46% field goal percentage. They shot like 38. It's one of those, they were at 36%. From the 3, they shot 28. So they just couldn't play a worse game. Missing open layups, just missing baskets that they normally make. I think they might just go ahead and just really crush them today.
And Billy Mack's going to say take the over as well. Hello to Billy Mack. Thank you so much. Great to have you in the chat. And hopefully you'll join us in chat every time. What we want to do, what Mindy and I want to do is roll with the chat, really. I mean, we're going to roll these picks, but if you throw in a game on there, even if we want to finish our rundown of a particular sport, we'll try to come back and, Mindy's got her set of numbers with her, and I can usually just wing it as well. I've got all my notes here, a bunch of games, a bunch of tennis matches that we won't even get to. And I got one more. I love these personal. I don't really know anybody. I mean, I'm not like some guy, Mindy, that, is a name dropper, and this isn't even a big deal. But Kelsey Plum, who certainly should have a better game tonight, her dad was a senior in at my high school when I was a freshman. So
look at that.
How about that? He was actually an All-American quarterback back in the day when they used to have the high school All-American team in Parade magazine. If you remember Parade magazine, I think that's still around.
It still is around, yes. It usually comes out as like a little insert in the newspaper, right?
But it wasn't necessarily like it. A lot different. It was really big back in the day, and they always had a high school All-American team, and he was the top quarterback in the nation. Ended up going to San Diego State and kind of fizzled out a little bit. Did play some at San Diego State. Didn't quite live up to his expectations, but certainly his daughter. Wow, I mean, what can you say? Just a terrific player. So Kia Stokes has been terrific since for the Aces. And I will say Gabby Williams will miss this game, her second straight game, missing this game for Seattle with a concussion. Maybe she can get back in the next game. Sue Bird, Jewel Lloyd had a terrific game in game 1. And Tina Charles, obviously it's been a huge acquisition. Maybe that's even helped close the gap for Seattle moving forward. We're just going to stick with Mindy's play here. I've got a free play on my video as well. So I thank you, Mindy, for being for you being our WNBA analyst today. And
I'm pretty selective on WNBA when I try to pick my spots. I haven't played much, this season. I'm a relatively new handicapper to WNBA, so getting into that, it's a lot of fun. It's pretty exciting.
Bill asked if I'd have any Premier League soccer takes, and not on this show. I didn't. We put a little bit of a time frame on us. I did take some Major League Soccer notes. I don't even know if I'll get to those. So you know what? I've just appointed Billy Mack in charge of our plays today, Mindy. He's going to have to give our plays on the show, and there it is. Liverpool and Man City. It's a huge soccer card today from what I saw in international soccer. Make sure you join Tony and Paul Lagaretos at 2:15 Eastern, 11:15 Pacific this afternoon to get our soccer show underway, and I really want to promote that because they deserve a little bit more love than they've been getting for the job that they're doing. Obviously,
Those two guys are awesome.
Paul, one of our top cappers, and probably 75% or more of his plays are soccer. But for a guy living, I believe, is in Greece, if I'm not mistaken, and he does dabble in some of the other American sports as well, which I think is quite neat. So no problem, Billy.
Sorry.
No problem. No, you please put those plays in there.
Yeah, it just so happens we don't have any plays today. It's one of those deals, right?
I looked. I have the Major League Soccer card here. But we're going to get into some college football, and then we'll probably be done. There's a 10-game Major League Soccer card, and I may be targeting some premiums in Major League Soccer. I'm going to have to branch out a little bit, Mindy, to break my. I'm on a losing streak. Let's face sense. Like I said, maybe it's. I don't want to say anything to get me in trouble. But I'm not complaining about my workload here at Tony's Picks. I mean, I'll stay on this thing 24 hours a day if I can get some winners right now. There's no doubt about that. So, okay, Mindy, we're going to look at Friday's college football action, if I'm not mistaken.
Ready for this?
We've called for in just a 5-game card, so that'll give us probably right about an hour. I think that'll be really cool. And again, we're just going over the FBS games. There's a boatload of FCS games, and I will say that I was involved in FCS games in my premiums, and that may again be the case this weekend. So don't ignore the FCS games. I think there's definitely something, especially, I know some of them are kind of wonky when you get these, 40 and 50 point spreads, but there's also some competitive matchups as well. We saw some pretty good games and some interesting results. Okay, Mindy, we'll go with college football.
We'll start with Western Michigan, Michigan State there, 6 p.m. in the Big Ten. I love Michigan State. I love how they recruit. One of the top recruiters here in the Big Ten. I really like Michigan State covering here this big spread over Western Michigan. Yeah.
Well, for me, I don't want to. Are we actually going to end up going against you? Oh boy! I put in my notes. I'm like, okay, I have my side and my total here, and I'm like, but I, might have a premium too, so I'm not sure. So, Mindy, we're gonna have. I don't know how many disagreements we've had so far in our first 3 shows here. Do you remember one? I don't know. This is going to be one.
We might have gone like over-unders kind of thing, right? I think maybe.
Okay. But here for me, just the fact, Mindy, that this game opened 18.5, I know what you're saying, and that's why maybe it's a free pick for you too, because there is definitely a tax on Michigan State in this game, no doubt about it. I mean, open as low as 18.5, and now we're looking at, what'd you say, 22.5?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that kind of says a lot to me right there. So I think if anything, that's where I'm going to look. I'm going to actually end up taking the points. So maybe if I don't know, and this game isn't exciting enough. I was going to propose one of those trades one of those bets that they always talk about with some Omaha steaks against some Southern California Mexican food, but I'm going to take Western Michigan.
I was like, Omaha steaks, what? My freezer, if you look at it right now, it's going to be full.
Oh boy. So for me though, that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to take this big dog with the increased points. So chalk it up. Mindy and I were in disagreement here, and we're not just
back down 6 p.m. Friday night.
Yep. Not like some of those. I know Tony sometimes patronizes us when we give out a play, and he, I can't disagree with you there, and he's probably like, this fool's on the wrong side again. But anyways, nonetheless, Mindy and I are going to be in disagreement here when it comes to the game between Western Michigan and Michigan State. I'm also seeing mostly 22s, 22.5. So, all right, Mindy.
All right, so this next one I got Virginia Tech, Old Dominion. I got Virginia Tech setting here at minus 7.5, over under 48.5. This one, I'm going to have a premium here on this one on the side itself. So I don't know if you have anything there, Ramon.
Yeah, I'll give up. Yeah,
Or
sure.
a
I'll
total.
give up.
I'm kind of indifferent, on that one. I think Virginia Tech, they'll probably do, something like, 6-6, this season. Old Dominion, on the other hand, probably going to be about, 2-10, something like that. So you could probably see maybe where I was heading. In this one, maybe I gave it away too much. I'll just say I like Virginia Tech big time in this one.
Well, welcome to the big time, Old Dominion. They've joined FBS here, and look, it's a free play for me because I like the under. Mindy, this one opened 52.5, and now we're looking at a 48.9. There's even 48.5. So I'm saying 48 at some offshore books here. That's why it's going to be a free play for me. I'm going to look to go under. These head coaches are pretty familiar with one another. They both were serving under on Penn State together. So I think that for me, we know Virginia Tech. They kind of been known for their defense historically, but they've also changed that reputation just a little bit. But yeah, I think Old Dominion might be might be live here. I don't know. We'll see what anyone has to say. I don't want to go against you there necessarily. Don't know what you have in your premiums, but for me, I'm going to go under 49 Virginia Tech and Old Dominion.
All right. Looks like next up we got Temple Duke -7, over under 51.5. I don't really have a whole lot of hope for either of these two teams this year, really doing anything substantial. I'm gonna say I think it's a pretty tough here, but if I'd have to do it, I'm gonna say Duke will probably cover. That's kind of where I'm headed, but I just really don't like it.
Okay, well, a couple of new head coaches here. So, again, this will be just a free play for me because I've missed out on a little bit of value here. This total opened 53.5. And, well, what could you say? I'm going to end up going under in this one, 51.5 with Temple and Duke. Want to see these two teams out of the gate. And that's good enough for me. I'm going to go under with these new head coaches in the Temple and Duke game.
All right, cool. And then I think we got Illinois, Indiana. Indiana -3, over under sitting at 45.5. So, I think these two teams this year, maybe one of those, they're, pretty evenly matched. I would say I'm giving Illinois here the edge in this one. I have them at like a 56% chance of winning this game. So I especially think when Illinois already has that, game under their belt, even though it was against a pretty bad, Wyoming team, I'm still going to give the Illinois the edge, and I'm going to take them at the plus points here on that one.
Yeah, and I think it's been 3 most of the time. There was a very early line that when the lines came up for these games, a lot of books released lines well in advance, and some books released this game a little bit higher. Indiana I saw as high as 5.5. Those didn't last long. It's been 3 most of the time, and well, here it is, Mr. Boring again, because I'm going to go under again just because I missed out. Open 48.5. Now we're looking at a 45 here with these two teams. So I think that's the way that I see it. A pretty solid game, right? This is going to be a pretty strong game. I think we're going to see some good running in this one as well. And I think there's some familiarity between the two teams. So under for me with Indiana and Illinois in this Big Ten opener in Mindy country.
That's right. And then next up, we got some Big 12, conference there. TCU, Colorado. I think, TCU, I think they're probably going to win this game. I'm just not so sure they're going to cover. I see them probably winning this, somewhere between 5 to 10 points. Not necessarily covering that 14 at Colorado. I just kind of like, Colorado's been pretty much kind of rebuilding out there, but still, I know some people have picked TCU to come out pretty big in the Big 12. I mean, some even say they're going to win it outright. Man, I just don't like it. I don't know what they see about how they can, do better than an Oklahoma school, something like that. I mean, I really like Colorado and the plus points in this one. Kind of agree there, Mr. Bill.
Billy Mack also says Colorado. And Mindy, I love throwing out the story because if I know somebody, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but
It makes me excited.
here's the thing on this one before I tell you who it is, because it's a college game, so it obviously might, could be a player that I knew. But I mentioned Jim Plum, the father of Kelsey Plum. Well, one of his top receivers when he was an All-American quarterback was head coach Carl Durrell, who was a senior when I was a freshman at Helix High School here in San Diego, and they're a power. So, I mean, it's not like, they've had plenty of pros come out of this school. So, but Carl Durrell's done pretty well for himself to get this head coaching job. He's been a head coach at UCLA as well. So, he knows what he's doing. And, I think the thing like Billy has pointed out there, I mean, it's kind